All right, let's get back to that suspected serial killer in Los Angeles who is making his first court appearance today. Police arresting Jared Powell over the weekend, saying he's responsible for murdering 3 homeless men as they were sleeping, in addition to killing a 4th person. All of this within just 4 days. So joining me now to talk more on the killings, we bring in Misty Marris, legal analyst, as well as trial attorney. Misty, thank you so much for your time. So the police chief spoke about this, says he does not believe the suspect just started killing on Sunday. Do you think we'll learn that he could be responsible for even more killings?
It is certainly possible. Part of that analysis that we heard during the press conference was that the way that these killings were committed, this brutal fashion, no connection that we know of right now between this person and his victims, led them to believe that this person, it's not their first time. This is not the first time that they have committed murder. We don't know what else is in the possession of law enforcement to, again, draw them to that conclusion because we're not in full awareness of what the evidence really is right now. However, what we do know is that they have asked, the LAPD has said, if you know of this person, are there any leads out there? Have you been a victim? Let us know so we can fully investigate. So that's where we are in that process. And look, it's not unheard of that during the course of a prosecution, during the course of an investigation, new evidence comes to light that can point to other crimes.
Absolutely. And Misty, there's some things that we do know. We do know that the killings were brutal. We do know at this point there's no connection between the suspect and the victims. What we don't know is a motive. Do you think we'll learn a motive, and will it make a difference if we do?
We may learn a motive. It seems that when we would learn a motive would likely be when this case goes to trial. I would guess that this particular defendant, they're going to be assigned counsel, they're going to get an attorney. That's unlikely that there would be any public statements made. We may hear from the podium, LAPD, that there is a suspected motive. But in a case like this, we're talking about the horrific killing over the span of 4 days, 4 alleged victims. I imagine that information would likely be kept close to the vest until we get closer to a potential trial.
And something, Misty, we have to talk about, this automatic license plate reader system that was used to flag the suspect's whereabouts, and then he was ultimately arrested. Now, this technology itself has been controversial. Do you think there is a chance this will end up being a point of contention if this case goes to trial?
Certainly, a defense attorney is always going to look at how this suspect came into the realm of law enforcement, and they're going to try and use arguments that perhaps there's something that could get a piece of evidence thrown out here or there. However, this technology, while incredibly controversial in its use, was used in a specific way in this particular instance. The ACLU has said that it could have potential privacy concerns, potential concerns relating to abuse. Other jurisdictions have brought up those issues. California itself dealt with controversy surrounding the technology back in 2019. However, we have to remember from the legal perspective in this case, the way the technology was used was that a vehicle was first identified through the course of the investigation. Then the scanner is used to locate the vehicle. So that information is put in, and then the vehicle is identified when it goes through that particular light or camera where the camera activity is. So it's a bit different than the camera was used as a broad brush, and then somehow this person got caught in the net. Instead, the argument from a prosecutor's perspective, the vehicle was identified because it was seen on surveillance video. And then from there, the investigation unfolded using that technology. So it's a minute distinction. Any defense attorney is going to try and make the arguments. But in this particular case, from what we know right now, it seems that anything that came from the search of that car or any evidence would be viable in a courtroom.
All right. Yes, so much left to learn concerning this case. All right, legal analyst, trial attorney, Misty Marris, thank you.